Well, I thought we won the game before the game with our approach, and we're just maturing daily. And sometimes even during the game, we slip back into being directly spoken to and how you should play. But we've had tremendous practices since our game against Air Force, and yesterday was real special. These guys are focused. Obviously we've had our ups and downs and very difficult times, but my mentor told me anytime you can win 17 games, you've had a great year. So we hit 17 but for a stretch in the second half, for about 4 minutes where we turned it over and didn't rebound the ball, I thought we played terrific.
Thank you, Coach. We'll now take questions for the student athletes only, and then we'll come back to Coach. Let's go ahead first. Go ahead.
Antoine and Emmanuel, it's your first time playing in a Mountain West tournament. Even though you're both upperclassmen, how did you really avoid the nerves and get out to such a hot start?
I think we kind of avoided them because that game before us went to like 3 overtimes, so we was in the locker room just chilling. But I don't really think it was really no jitters. Coach prepared as well.
Just coming into today's games, me, Antoine, like the whole team, like we already talked about it. Just pick it one game at a time. Just don't be nervous. Come out there and just try to get a win.
Over here, guys, to your right.
Emmanuel, did this feel more like the team that you guys were back when you were beating Northern Iowa in those first 5 games of the season when everything was clicking? Did it feel like that team, or did it feel more like the team that maybe had some struggles mid-year and just finally got it together?
Yes, for sure. Like we feel more like a team now, just like Coach always tells us, team together all the time. We coming in together at the perfect time.
Go ahead.
Antoine, you hold them to 3 of 21 from 3 and well below 40% shooting from the field. Just talk about you guys' defensive performance.
Like Coach said, after the Air Force game, we've been practicing, and that's one thing we've been emphasizing is defense, like Coach do all season long, defense and rebounding. And I think working on our rotations and things really helped us. You know, Coach Perry and Coach Stacy always say toe the line now instead of like being below the line, toe the line to keep them shooters from being comfortable. So we toed the line and we made them take deeper threes than they're used to.
Antoine? Coach talked about you guys just yesterday in practice that he could kind of sense that you had your focus, you were dialed in. Could you guys sense that? Did you feel that coming into this game?
Yeah, I believe so. As coach, he's always just, he's always telling us about, this is a very big game, and I think we all took that approach of it as it being a big game. So we knew what was at stake. It was win or go home, and I don't think none of us are ready to go home.
Go ahead.
It looked like one of the better passing displays you guys have put on all year, not settling for shots and really working the ball inside, being patient. Did you guys feel that way too, or did you guys feel like the ball moved better than it has at times this year?
Honestly, I believe I don't think it. I think we just played together as Coach always. He's been telling us this all year, and we didn't kind of listen to start inside out, and that's kind of what it was tonight. It's something that we're getting better at doing.
And we try to get a lot of paint touches too. Coach Perry and Coach always yell out paint touches, paint touches. Drive in and kick it out, then you're gonna get shooters open too, and the big guys gonna score, I guess.
Emmanuel, what was maybe the difference with this game where you guys got the big lead early and you didn't really let up? You've had some other games this year where you guys had great first halves and you were unable to maybe kind of keep that tempo going and focus. What was the difference tonight?
I mean, we had urgency. That's keyword, urgency. Nothing else.
Antoine, almost a double-double, 17 points, 9 rebounds. How long has it been since you had a double-double with rebounds, or have you had one?
I haven't had one this year, but I've had one before. But that winning looks way better than them stats.
Yes, sir.
Just for both you guys, advance to face Boise State tomorrow. What are just your initial thoughts on that matchup?
It'll be a great game, as Coach always says. Defend, rebound, and make plays at the end of the game, and we'll be there.
Emmanuel?
It's just another game.
Are you guys determined at all to kind of prove that win you had against them last time kind of wasn't a fluke?
We're not worried about that.
We're just focused on going out there playing tomorrow and trying to win.
Anything else for our student athletes?
One more, just
real quick. Go ahead.
Either one of you, do you guys talk at all about what that 2003 CSU team did when they were the number 6 team and won this tournament?
I don't know anything about them,
I have
honestly.
no idea what.
That's probably the worst question you've asked all year. They don't.
Instead, I ask them.
They don't know who Ronald Reagan is. Good job, guys.
All right, we'll dismiss the athletes at this time. Thank you, man.
Right, Coach. We do a film tonight?
Yeah.
Over here, Coach. Go ahead.
Larry, you had Marcus Fizer in there in the locker room with you guys after the game. What does it mean to have a player, especially from your past teams, but I mean a team 16 years ago, come back and want to spend time around you and your team?
Well, I thought what he said was brought me to tears about what we did for him. And believe me, he got me the $1 million contract. We got him when he was young and didn't like to listen. And when he left, he was runner-up player of the year and the 4th pick in the draft. And he explained about, the process. And we got a lot of young guys going through that process right now. But he was excellent. He was, it goes so much farther when you've got the 4th pick in the draft standing in front of them, telling them exactly what we say every day. And, he just got put in the Iowa State Hall of Fame. He was runner-up to Kenyon Martin, and because of injuries, his career was cut short. But him and Jamal Tinsley by far were players that impacted winning more than anything.
This is a team that San Jose State that played you guys pretty close twice this season. Tonight you're in control from start to finish. In your eyes, what was the difference in this game?
I thought we were really focused. I mean, this team is I think you can it kind of mirrors Jeremiah Page. You just see a guy developing into he's no longer a freshman. He's just playing through when things go wrong, which we've struggled to do all year. And we still struggle to do it at times. It's never going to be perfect. But like I said, we won this game with our 2 practices before we played. I knew we were sitting on a win just because of how in tune we were, how focused we were, how, it's a very unselfish team. We were even more unselfish than normal. So, you usually can tell, and I felt pretty comfortable. And then, they missed shots, but we had a lot to do with it.
Go ahead, Joe.
Larry, you talk about, are there any things beyond just any special things you notice that in practice you can tell they're in tune, or is it just kind of an overall feeling, or is there certain things you can see that they're on?
It's just an overall feel, I have the coaches do the game plans a lot, and I just sit back and watch our guys if they're listening or not, and they were really, really in tune to listening, and which is hard to get the players to do these days. I mean, just to get them to listen and take it from the film room to the practice court and then show up in Las Vegas, that is not an easy art. And I thought our assistant coaches, give them all the credit. They did a great job for preparing this team, and I just observed that we were as good as we've been, and what really helps this team is when guys like Jeremiah give you more depth because you have more faith and trust in them and can play them longer. So it's been a work in progress. We've had our ups and downs, but you mentioned earlier that this was the team that. Does it seem more like the team that won 5 straight? That team was, we beat Northern Iowa, which was misleading. That team was not nearly a team at that time. They've grown into being a team and being core of guys that really police each other and take care of each other. So major difference from Northern Iowa to Las Vegas today. Okay.
Let's go here first.
Coach, you've had some great battles with Boise in the past. I would expect you would think it would be an up-tempo game tomorrow, but what are some of the keys that you guys need to do tomorrow in order to give yourself a chance to win?
Well, one game I remember is I call it the $300,000 game because I walked out on the court in Boise to talk to our team, and I got a technical, and we lost the game, and with that, we lost the championship. And with that, we lost an NCAA tournament bid. And in my contract, I have $200,000 for an NCAA tournament bid and $100,000 for a conference championship. So that was a $300,000 technical. That's the first thing that comes to my mind when you mention Boise State, when you're 60 years old and looking for retirement. But in all seriousness, you know, Leon's done a tremendous job, and they're very talented. You know, we got beat twice by them. I mean, that shot counted, but under the circumstances, it was called right by Dave Hall's crew. So basically, we haven't beaten Boise State this year, and they got a lot of weapons, and we've got our hands full. You know, they just can score from everywhere, and I know they'll be focused. You don't want to play a team coming off a loss, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Time for a couple more questions. Let's go there first. And then
Coach, Princeton Onwas scored 20 points and over in the 2 matchups this season. Did you guys game plan to stop him really in this one?
Yeah, we knew that. I mean, he's our most talented player, and we knew when their plays broke down that he was just going to get it in his hands, and he was going to drop his head and just drive it. And I thought we did a great job of staying in between him and the basket. Sometimes he's just too strong and got to the rim, but there's no question who their best talent and player that impacts winning the most, and it's him. So we certainly were aware of how we had to play him.
we're Coach.
Just what does it mean for you and for the guys to get at least one more day, one more game together for especially guys like Antoine and Teal and Joe as seniors?
I think it's means a lot, and that's an understatement. You know, your fans come here, and you look at what Wyoming comes here, and they're very short-handed, and you go home, and I don't think as a coach you can be grateful enough that you win your first game. Because, I've had the number 3 team in the country losing the second round, but the first game. And, the whole championship, we were the champions, and it was for naught because of the tournament. So, this is our 3rd out of 4 years that we've won and continued to move on, I think. And I think it's huge. I think it's huge for everything we're trying to do, starting with our fan base and interest. And I think it's great for our players. They've earned it. They earned to advance, and I'm happy for them.